Hey everyone. Okay, as some people may or may not know, I run car audio for my audio system out here in the shop. There's a few good reasons why I run a car audio system instead of a mini house system. It's primarily to do with the cold out here and the vibrations from running an engine in here and the ease of running a 12 volt system. I got a solar panel on the roof. I got a small battery bank in here. I got the AC Delco and I got that big battery right there. They're both being charged by my solar array. I got this one cost 150 watt amp. I used to have two, but if you saw my video of me repairing it, the repair worked. I hooked the amp up. It was actually working really good for about 20 minutes and it popped a fuse. I attempted to put a different fuse in there. It started smoking and the nice electric smoke came out of it. So it's currently sitting out there on the ground waiting to be smashed with a sledgehammer. So yeah, it blew up. I was also having issues with a Panasonic head unit. The preamp had died in it and it took out the secondaries going to my amps. So I got this one here from a buddy of mine. It's a JVC, really nice head unit. It works. It has the USB in the front. It has the input port on the front. Really nice head unit, but the only downside to it, it only has two preamps on the out and no subwoofer. So I tied in a subwoofer, but the only problem with that is it's tied into the stereo's preamp. So I have to have my subwoofer turned all the way down. Nice stereo, very, very nice stereo. I'm going to actually hold on to it. But the point of this video is I found another Panasonic at Valley Village, actually. And it was missing the plug. I actually think it could be hot. I'm not sure, though. But it has all the necessary plugs I need. It has a front and rear amp. And it also has the subwoofer and the auxiliary. There was also a subwoofer there, but in my opinion, they wanted way too much for the subwoofer. It was a subwoofer and amp. It was a 200 watt amp, but the amp needed a special plug for the wiring. This is why I think both of them could be hot. I'm not sure though. This plug here actually came off my other Panasonic. Luckily, I held on to it. So it was missing this plug here, and it was missing the amp plug. Also, what happens is they get a lot of stuff in from the police station, potentially stolen property, because they can't sell nothing stolen. So that's why I'm thinking it probably was hot, to be honest, and it was missing the plugs. So luckily, I had this plug sitting here, and I'll actually test this thing out, see if it works. But I want to run potentially my much nicer faceplate, if it will work. Same plug. Don't know if it was going to work or not, because that came off my other Panasonic stereo. And here's what's kind of left of my other Panasonic. To get it out, actually, I smashed it with the hammer to get it through. So it was stuck in here. But really, the only problem with this JVC is it doesn't have the pre-out for the subwoofer. So if there's something wrong with the other faceplate, or sorry, the other head unit, I will put this one back in. Here is my TV side of it. Really nice Clarion unit. Tuner works, everything works on it. The TV function works. The only problem with it, the face is dead. But the graphics all work on it for playing a video. Everything works on it. And I actually got a DVD in there. I think the only button that works on here is eject. See, that's what it does. It gets stuck in place. So, and the scan works sometimes. There's no speakers hooked up to it right now. But I do got speakers for this, and I'm going to be doing a Y jacks between the two stereos, so I can hook up both stereos and they both basically share an amp. So that's the plan with that. I got another amp for here. It's a smaller amp. It's only 100 watts. I got 2 smaller speakers that's going to be hooked up to. This amp here is running the 2 speakers upstairs. I'd like to do a demonstration, but copyright police. So let's see what happens. Do a real quick demonstration. It's playing. Turn it right down until it starts playing. Don't want the copyright police getting after me. So I'm trying to get monetization. So that there is turned practically down to nothing. Basically, so I don't get the vibrations are up too loud because it's basically being controlled by the volume. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm going to swap out this face unit here, this head unit, with this one right here, see if it works. And I wish I would have left these wires tied in whenever I swapped it out in the first place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the JVC wires in place, and I'm going to actually wire back in the Panasonic wires. So I'll actually have both of them wired in here, but it's just going to use the one. And this has actually an extra USB cable. It's a really nice head unit. It actually came out of that Grand Am, I think it was, I was working on last winter. I was putting in the head unit for them, and I was actually putting in a head unit similar to this, but it was dead, and this is the head unit he actually ended up putting in. I did all the base wiring for him, and he ended up getting the head unit done by someone else, as he couldn't get me the head unit quick enough. So this is actually came out of that, not this bezel here. I actually got the Grand Am bezel, and I got the Grand Am wiring harness in the house. But that's actually what this came out of. So stay tuned. We're going to get this new head unit hooked up, get it wired in, and see what happens. Okay, it's in for testing purposes. Let's see what happens. Good sign. Sounds like there could be a CD in there. I've actually got these before from Value Village, and there has been CDs in them. Nope, there's nothing. Everything's all hooked up, but the subwoofer's turned right down. Oh, subs are off. Or the amps are off. They're controlled separately. Good sign. Okay, so new Panasonic head unit is in. I gotta go turn up my subwoofer, because this does, like I said, have a subwoofer output. I did end up removing the entire harness. It was easier because I had cut the red, black, and yellow wire so short. This here wouldn't really stay in, but it's out now. You can actually see better what I did to make it work. And the thing is, I bought a cable real cheap for like $1 from Value Village, and I cut these off of it. But I had these wires here from the old stereo, and actually labeled what they used to be. I could have just snipped them off and wired them in. I'm going to hold on to these as pigtails. So I got 4 of them. What you do is you can tie 2 together as a set, 2 together as a set. I might do something like that with them. This has little extenders. We'll see. So they're still good ends. They're decent quality. Panasonic uses good quality stuff with their equipment. So that's my opinion, at least. Panasonic's a relatively decent brand. Next thing will be, I'll do a separate video. I'm going to see if I can swap these face plates or not. But sounds good. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please comment.